playbook, and this one is discussing how I would manage my child post-game. So I have to be completely honest with you up front. This may change because I don't have a child, so I don't know 100% how I would handle this, but this is what I would do as of right now. Because, again, I've seen it. I coach and I do all these things, and I deal with kids all the time, and it's not an easy thing to deal with. Like and I've been a player, so what are they thinking about when it goes through their mind of performance and whatnot? A lot of them might just let it go. A lot of them might want to process information. This is my current opinion as of right now. When I was a player, I didn't like to talk about it. I didn't want to be involved in those type of things until I settled down and said, you know what, I'm okay to discuss it. And I'm more talking about bad games versus good games, and I'm not talking about the team, I'm talking about the player individually. So did the player have a good game or a bad game? The player typically knows if they played good or they didn't play well. So those are things to at least consider, right? So let's say game just finished and we're leaving, right? So I have a child that's a little bit older. My recommendation to you would be, the first thing as a parent, what I would evaluate is, did my player give 100% effort? Yes or no? If it's yes, cool, I'm not going to say a lot. If it's no, then I will absolutely chew them out. Because for me, that is completely unacceptable that I'm putting you into a competitive sport and I have to question whether I believe you gave 100% effort. It's unacceptable for me. So that would be the only thing immediately that I would squash in 3 seconds. After the game, get in the car, I would squash that immediately. 100% effort, if I don't think it was, I'm coming after you. Because that's unacceptable for me. There's no reason that I'm spending my time and my energy to help you out because you want to play competitive and you have a dream to get somewhere, or at least what you're telling me, and you're not putting everything into it. You better be ready to make this your dream, because that's what you told me you want to do, and sacrifice to make it happen. So that would be the first non-negotiable for me. If I believe that we're good with that, no problem. Then more than likely, if it's a local game where, we're local to home, we're just going to go home and I'm going to be like, hey, if you want to talk about it, cool, let me know. I'm here to talk. I want to give them the freedom to open up and discuss it. Because if I have to force it on them, they're not ready. They're only going to resent that type of conversation later. And I think it's best to let the player reflect and stew on it. When they're ready to open up about it, then we engage in that conversation. And that's the most important thing, because usually after games, you're either emotional because the game was difficult or intense, so the emotions are quite high, and or you're not just ready to talk about it. You kind of want to self-soothe and decompress and then think about and reflection about it. How did I do? What could I have done better? And again, players know, man. Players know, especially when they get older, again, U12 and up, did they have a good game or not? They understand those type of things at this age. Younger ages, maybe not, and probably not, and shouldn't. But the older ones, for sure, yes. So again, let them decompress. When they're ready to have a conversation, engage in it. And then the best way that I think you should act with those type of things is not to get upset unless they don't give effort. And just pretty much phrase it to ask questions. You don't need to gain much from them, but you want to be asking questions to kind of pick their brain and see what they thought. Because again, at the end of the day, if they go on to become a professional, they already know how they play. They're going to have 10 coaches coming to them, discussing with them later in the week their performance. So they don't need mom and dad coming up to them and helping them with all those scenarios. They're going to have that already. You're there to be the support system. So be the support system. Encourage them, guide them, manage them, take care of them, nurture them, those type of things. And then if there's no effort, crack the effort. But just make sure you're doing that. Now, if it's an away game, like we have to travel, so for example, we're staying at a hotel, more than likely we're gonna have to go get something to eat. So you know what my question would be? What do you want to eat? Unless they didn't give effort. If they didn't give effort, then I'm gonna be like, yo, I'm picking the place to eat. Sorry about that. You don't deserve it. But if they gave the effort, they'll be like, yo, where do you want to eat? Okay, cool, I'm down with that. Or we have these 3 options to eat. What do you pick? Right? Make them have a choice. Build that self-sufficiency, the independency, those type of things. Think outside the box.